So, first of all, congratulations on your career. Congratulations on your retirement. Has the decision been out there in the open sunk in just yet a couple of weeks on?
It has, in a way, yeah. It's something I was thinking about for obviously for a few years. Obviously, when you get to your mid 30s, when you're a professional sportsman, you get asked the question a lot. When's the time coming up? But yeah, I suppose it's even been from 2018 a testimonial year, and it probably wasn't till then really I had a chance to reflect on my career, and I realised that I'd achieved quite a bit in the game and played a lot for Lancashire. So yeah, it's one of those years, year on year, and I think the more I've got into coaching, the more, and especially this year was a bit of a hybrid year with coaching and playing. And yeah, it was one of those years as well that I thought I can't 100% commit to either really. When I was coaching, I felt like I was going back to playing. When I was playing, I felt I was going back to coach. So it made the decision quite easy, really, because coaching is something that I'm passionate about and want to go into. So yeah, I decided to fully make the plunge about a month ago, and yeah, happy with the decision that has been made so far.
Yeah, was it about balancing pros and cons leading up to last month? 'Cause it's quite a short amount of time really to make that decision and then go through with it.
Yeah, I felt fine to play another year, another 2 years, and I don't think that would probably ever leave me. Really, I'll always feel like I'm competitive, and I feel like I'll still feel like I compete out there with the best. But yeah, coaching was something I'm really looking forward to get into as well. And I got some good news around. I'll be doing the England Young Lions, which is the 19s this winter as well. So I think that made the decision a bit clearer as well, that I can fully immerse myself in not only Lancashire but the young England players as well, which has been really nice. Almost a week into retirement, really.
Yeah, it's not a bad start, is it? An international call up as such as a coach.
Yeah, mate, I waited 21 years as a player and didn't get one. And after a week as a coach, sort of young Lions came calling. But it's been a great sort of even year of learning. Really, still great that I got to play. I got to coach as well with Lancashire and with England Lions as well, with their warm up game against Sri Lanka, that their full test team. So it's been a great year of learning, really, and almost it cements my decision really to stick with the inevitable that was coming. Really, it was always going to come one day, and yeah, I still feel like I'm good enough, which is, I suppose, most sportsmen would rather do that than get the tap on the shoulder and say, look, we feel you're lagging behind a bit, and I still feel good enough, and yeah, still happy with the decision. It's something probably early on in my career, since I'd done the captaincy stuff, and I think coaching then really appealed to me. So I got my level 3 done sort of around a decade ago, and got the highest qualification in a level 4 done sort of 3, 4, 5 years ago it was now. And yeah, my path was pretty clear from quite early on, really, probably around 2010, 11, that I knew I wanted to coach. So I tried nearly every winter then to keep up with that, and I've been doing the academy and Lancashire EPP for nearly a decade now in the winters, and the last last 3 seasons doing the one day comp for Lancashire, the RL 50 comp as a coach. So yeah, gained sort of quite a lot of experience before jumping into the role, which I suppose you can't do in every job really. But yeah, privileged that had the opportunity to do it with Lancs while still a player, and look after sort of life after cricket as well.
You mentioned the decision to retire was around a month ago. So did you know when you played your last game at Old Trafford that that was it?
Not necessarily, no. I sort of had a sort of picturesque version in my mind that at that time as well we were in the finals, and we still had a quarter final down at Sussex. And I think before, if we got to finals day, I was going to sort of announce that finals day is going to be my last cricket for Lancashire, but unfortunately we didn't get there. So sort of last game was down at Hove. But yeah, it's one of those things. I think professional sport, it'd have been nice to almost bow at Old Trafford, and I could have waited on till next year, but I think a lot could have happened in the meantime. There could have been injuries. I might have had that tap on the shoulder that say, look, we don't think you're in our strongest 11. So I think to go out, sort of, especially for me mentally, thinking I'm I'm still good enough to do it was nice, really. Yes, it would have been nice to know, right, this is my last game, and my family would have been there at Old Trafford. But yeah, sometimes the stars don't always align, and yeah, it would have been nice as well if we got to finals day at Edgbaston as well. But yeah, still happy with the way it's all panned out, really.
Yeah, obviously you could have gone out with a big maybe fanfare at home, but the fact that you mentioned the fact you could have played on if you wanted to, that you competed in that final games like any normal games, that a special thing in itself.
Yeah, and almost I didn't want it to be about me either. There's a lot been before me, and obviously there's a lot of teammates as well. And yeah, it's a team game, and yeah, if the stars had aligned and everything went accordingly, yeah, it would have been nice. But yeah, it didn't quite happen, and yeah, it's one of those things in sport, and at least I got to go out on my terms.
Of course, you came through at Blackpool. Was cricket always the one for you? Was that always going to be the career you pursued?
No, not intentionally. No, I probably didn't know it was a career until I was probably an early teenager. Really, I was football mad and played for Blackpool Town team and trialled around at Wimbledon when they were back in the day in the Premiership. But yeah, it juggled sort of football and cricket as a teenager, and then it probably wasn't until around sort of 15, 16 I really sort of then went after cricket, and sort of Lancashire then had well, it was a newly found cricket academy in 2002, I think it was, and yeah, it was then I thought, right, I want to be a cricketer and give it my all, really, and yeah, luckily it paid off.
So at one point, the main dream wasn't the red rose as such; it was the tangerine as well.
Yeah, always a Blackpool fan. Yeah, always loved football. Still love football. Going down to Bloomfield Road, and yeah, I think sport played a massive part in my development as a cricketer in person. Really, always loved competing at school. I loved going to school because it was an outlet for sport. Really, I played everything at school, from football, cricket, hockey, rugby, basketball. I did it all at school, and I loved going. Really, wasn't admittedly the best with my books and the brightest, but the vehicle of school gave me sport, and which I loved.
How much of a grounding did Blackpool Cricket Club give you heading into like obviously what you've gone on to achieve in your career?
They were fantastic, the club and the people in it, the coaches, the parents. I joined there when I was around 10 years old, and yeah, sort of quickly developed from the junior teams, playing in higher junior teams, to then playing sort of fourth team, third team at senior men's cricket, and then I think got my debut in the Northern Leagues, a 13-year-old. I think at the time it was sort of Fred's record. It broke, and but yeah, it was quite an early exposure to senior cricket, which put me in good stead, playing against some really good cricket professionals as well. He had some really good pros in the league as well, and yeah, I learned a lot down at Blackpool Cricket Club, especially some of the teammates and older teammates. I know Paul Danson's only just retired now. He's kept on for almost as long as I did, and but people like Mark Lomas and Rudra Singh, people like that have been around a lot of league cricket and almost sort of took me under the wing, really, and everyone at the club as well always really looked out for me, and still enjoy going down to this day, and yeah, joining my old man for a pint down there as well.
Yeah, you do like staying local because you played for Lytham as well recently. Is that something that's going to continue, or is that retirement means retirement for everything?
Yeah, I'd still like to play. I think, yeah, like I said earlier, I'll always have that competitive sort of nature in me, and I think, yeah, whether it's league cricket or a bit of paddle or tennis, I still feel like I'll need to get that out of me somehow. And yeah, I don't think hitting the kids over the fence in the backyard is going to cut that. So I think, yeah, a few games for Lytham maybe in the summer. Well, hopefully, yeah, just feed that thirst. I'll always have a passion to pick up a bat as long as I can walk and run. So yeah, hopefully a few more league runs to come.
So is that a warning to anyone who comes up against you?
Yeah, yeah, and it was only I probably made I'd made the decision this year, and then I got 200s in a row for Lytham, so it was almost a peace of mind at the back end of the season, thinking, "Oh, this is probably my only cricket now." So yeah, having not be able to, well, not playing for Lancs anymore, it's the only thing I can, well, only team I can play for. So yeah, looking forward to that next year.
Looking back, can you sort of believe what cricket has given you throughout your life and will continue to give you now?
No, not at all. I said it a couple of times. As a youngster, I just wanted to grow up, play a game for Lancs, get the red rose on my chest and name and number on my back, and I'd have been happy with one game. But to have a professional career for 21 years and travel the world playing cricket, and I still don't feel like I've had a proper job as an adult yet. Did work at Pizza Hut when I was in the academy, mind, and the cricket clubs. But yeah, it's given me an amazing life, and to travel the world doing something you love. Feel very privileged, really, and especially at a club like Lancashire, as a local lad, to captain them, to get capped, to win some trophies at your sort of boyhood county club is something I'd never have thought as a teenager, really.
You mentioned obviously that target of playing one game. How did your targets progress throughout your career? 'Cause obviously you mentioned the trophies, you mentioned being captain, you played overseas as well. So how did your targets, yeah, sort of change? Did you always have new targets cropping along, or did you have an end goal once you reached one?
Yeah, these sort of it sort of grew organically, really. Where initially, as a young year, it was just to get a game for Lancs and to get that contract. And when that happened, it was trying to then be a first team regular, then get your first 100 and tick stuff off as you go along, and then so you get capped, and then yeah, obviously a big one was to play for England. Never sort of quite got there. Yeah, got into a World Cup provisional squad, but yeah, nothing really came about. And but yeah, hopefully that the next chapter, I feel me personally probably almost took my eye off the ball, sort of midway through my career for almost wanting to play for England. Probably a little bit too much, really. Where I think at the start and end of my career, probably have different mentalities of just enjoying the game for what it is, really, a game, really, and competing for your team rather than thinking I've got to play for England to be a success. Where yeah, I'm sure I've had the mindset at the back end, which I think we'd all like with a bit more experience behind us. It might have put me in better stead, but yeah, sort of yeah, we'd all like to be there, but wasn't through like a crying, I suppose.
Does it bother you now, obviously, not playing for England?
Yeah, obviously, I think sort of that when you're sort of mid-20s and around there, I was sort of itching to get a go, but yeah, now no sort of hard feelings against it. I gave it my best, and yeah, it's one of those things that some players get the chance, some don't, and yeah, not like I say, wasn't through lack of trying, and yeah, proud of my sort of records I've got for Lancashire, and yeah, even one game the same would have been nice, but yeah, no sort of hard feelings with it, and yeah, something I think that's helped me. That's touch wood going to help me sort of progress into coaching more. That I feel like the cricketing chapter's over. I've done a heck of a lot with my career, and proud of a lot with Lancashire, which I think which will put me at ease to them that the lines under my playing career now, and now it's time for my coaching, which I think will hopefully make that transition smooth.
We touched on Old Trafford before. Can you believe how much that place has changed in the way it looks, at least, throughout your career? But I'm guessing it's the same feeling when you go into the ground.
Yeah, it's the same. Obviously, when you go in through the gates, but yeah, it has changed a heck of a lot. Almost being a traditionalist, I did used to like the sort of the old pavilion where you go in and you're walking past the receptionist and things like that. But you look at the ground now; it's a mega stadium, really, and you can't have too many complaints about playing there every week. And obviously, two hotels and the Point and media centre and the sort of the pavilion. Still, it's a phenomenal ground, and yeah, still sometimes pinch yourself when I played there, especially those Roses games when there was 20 odd thousand in, and yeah, it was an unbelievable experience. And like most things, they've developed with time, and it's one of the best places probably to play in the world now.
On your coaching, you mentioned obviously England Lions, you got that opportunity. What are your ambitions coaching? Have you laid something out long term, what you want to sort of achieve?
I think obviously the a sort of loose, sort of long term goal would be a head coach, and obviously Lancashire would be obviously number one, and international honours as well. But for me, yeah, I'm sort of similar with the playing stuff. Really, I'm going into coaching hopefully to help people and get them to where they want to be. Really, so I think even sort of quite young, uh, sort of in my infancy of coaching, really, but had a lot of wins already with it already. And for me, that's it could be little things as well on and off the field, which to me a little win. So yeah, the aim is just to help people, to help players on the field, off the field, and get them to places where they want to be. And I can look back on my experiences and those experiences around me from people I play with and the coaches as well to try and help those people really.
And just finally, if you're having a good summer next year with Lytham, maybe Lancashire might be short of injuries. If that phone call came in saying, "Do you fancy a comeback?" Would you never say never, or is that the book firmly closed now?
Yeah, I'm content with it, and yeah, if it was at Old Trafford against the Yorkies, maybe that would appeal if we were very short. But it's one of them. Yeah, I'll always I think have that competitiveness in me. I'll probably still say yes when I'm 60 years old. But yeah, it's one of those. I'm really happy with where I'm at with it, and yeah, if the call came along, it'd be hard to say no ever again, especially at Old Trafford. But yeah, I feel like the decision's been made, and yeah, I'm really happy with where it's at. Really.
Hey, be written in the stars against Yorkshire. Be a pressure one.
Yeah, it'd be nice to beat them again.